I just want to say to you, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because somewhere around the world, that is truly what time it is. That is truly what time it is. I want to thank everyone for being in the show, for everyone that's in the chat early right now. Shout out to all my deplorables. We have a show for you today. We are back at what the essence is of this program, and that is talking about the things and exposing the things that the New World Order, Illuminati, globalist would not want you to talk about and or know. We will also get back to the essence of asking the what if questions. Some may call them conspiracy theories and others may call them facts. Either way, shape, or form, we are back at it. Shout out to Gina Patriot, who was first in the building. She's been in the building for a while now. Claudia Kente, shout out to you in the building. I appreciate you for being here. Walter Davis, shout out to you for being in the building. Thank you for being here bright and early. I appreciate every last one of you. We're going to get into some things today. Before we do that, please be mindful this show is for 18 years of age and older. All copyright laws will be respected, but this show is intended to use the Fair Use Act of it. Thank you very much. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
He's on fire!
First is the family, MFM, the entertainment, and his team, no sleep. Flossy high, and yeah, we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul, Illuminati wanna take it. First is the family, MFM, the entertainment, and his team, no sleep. Flossy high, and yeah, we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul, Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, paying for the pussy, I endorse it, riding through the city, that's my all.
Thank you for being in the building today. I am your host, Tony X, and I have to tell you that the language and or content that you see on this channel is made purely for entertainment purposes only and that of educational value. If you learn something while you're here, congratulations. This show is meant to make you question things, ask questions of things, and never feel content in just being told what to think. This show does not reflect the campaign of Anton Tucker, who is running for Congress. Again, I am here appearing today as Tony X. Shout out to Dina Marie in the building. Shout out to Crazy Reaper in the building. I want to thank you guys also for joining the show today. And you know what we got to tell you guys, because, I mean, make sure that's up. You know what we got to tell you guys.
Protect the sheep, you got to catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. You know what I'm saying?
I need to hear that 2 more times so that people can hear this.
Protect the sheep, you got to catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. You know what I'm saying?
One more time for them.
Protect the sheep, you got to catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. You know what I'm saying?
Now again, I'm your host. I am your host, Tony X. And I am happy to be here today. We have a show for you. We have a show for you today. We will talk about some things that the president said that I don't agree with. And I am not here to pick and choose what I don't like, or I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm here to tell you the truth, HD. I want to thank you for being in the building, HD. Thank you for being in the building. I'm not here to just, I love this president. I love him to death, but I understand that he is a man and we are all capable of making mistakes. So I've addressed some of them on Twitter. I've addressed the president on Twitter. I've addressed the president in videos on social media, and I'm quite certain that he'll see them. I do believe that he'll see them. I do believe that even in regards to the speech that he gave, it was in regards to one of the viral videos that I currently have on Twitter right now, which discusses the hate that is being promoted in this country. We're going to get into some things, but first things first. Let's turn on this television. Shannon, turn the TV on, please. Thank you, Shannon. You're great. Shout out to the Onion News Network for presenting this and posting this and having this up. I want to thank you guys for this. So, as covered by them, we are covering it now, and we will discuss what we see here on this platform today. Mark Scobb in the building. Thank you, Mark. Well, I can promise you this, Mark, that if I have to put this whole MAGA movement on my shoulders and continue to push forward, I will do so. I don't want to do it without the brother. It's important that the brother, I believe that Trump will change his mind. I don't see him going forward with it. I think that the more that he hears from the people, how this isn't something that they want, I do believe that he will be looking for other ways to combat the situation. This just happened relatively fast, and in regards to needing a response, these were the initial responses that were given. But we'll see. We'll deal with it. We'll see, and we will deal with it. We will deal with it. But like I said, if I have to put this whole movement on my back is broad enough. I got us.
The Onion News Network. Better news.
Before we go, I want to thank the show's producer, Shannon X from the New Right Party channel. This show would not be capable. This show would not exist without the help of you out there right now watching and Shannon X. So before we get into the show, I want to give every last one of you a round of applause. Round of applause. Where's my round of? Give me a round of applause. Shout out to Jay the Jeweler in the building. Shout out to Charlie Pastrami in the building. Shout out to Charlie Pastrami in the building. Oh, man. Again, I want to give you guys a round of applause for everyone out there that's helped made this show possible, and to Shannon X of the New Right Party, I want to thank you all. Because again, without you guys, we would not be here. We would not be doing this show, and it's important that I make sure that I give you the credit that you deserve. Mark Miller in the building, and shout out to you. Chrissy B in the building, shout out to you. You know I love every last one of you. Again, we'll discuss some things, and hopefully you guys will be able to take this. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hopefully you guys will be able to take this show, and you can see me. I'm not getting feed. Tony, can you see me? I'm not getting feed. I see you, Claudia, Kentai. Pray for us, Tony. We feel the love, and I love you, Charlie. I love every last one of you. I'll be addressing some of the things that the president said today. We'll be getting into that, but we have something very important, I feel like, that you all need to look into right now and watch.
This is the Onion News Network. Better news, better viewers.
Congress today reauthorized funding for Facebook, the massive online surveillance program run by the CIA. According to Department of Homeland Security reports, Facebook has replaced almost every other CIA information gathering program since it was launched in 2004.
After years of secretly monitoring the public, we were astounded so many people would willingly publicize where they live, their religious and political views, an alphabetized list of all their friends' personal email addresses, phone numbers, hundreds of photos of themselves, and even status updates about what they were doing moment to moment. It is truly a dream come true for the CIA.
Much of the credit belongs to CIA agent Mark.
Let's bring it back,
This
just in
is
case.
the Onion News Network.
Let's bring it back.
Better news, better viewers.
Congress today reauthorized funding for Facebook, the massive online surveillance program run by the CIA. According to Department of Homeland Security reports, Facebook has replaced almost every other CIA information gathering program since it was launched in 2004.
After years of secretly monitoring the public, we were astounded so many people would willingly publicize where they live, their religious and political views, an alphabetized list of all their friends' personal email addresses, phone numbers, hundreds of photos of themselves, and even status updates about what they were doing moment to moment. It is truly a dream come true for the CIA.
Much of the credit belongs to CIA agent Mark Zuckerberg, who runs the day-to-day Facebook operation for the agency. The decorated agent, codenamed the Overlord, was recently awarded the prestigious Medal of Intelligence Commendation for his work with the Facebook program, which he has called, quote, the single most powerful tool for population control ever created. Among the biggest successes of the Facebook program is Operation Farmville, which the CIA credits with pacifying as many as 85 million people after unemployment rates rose dramatically. Other features, such as the suggested friends window, have been instrumental in allowing government agents to infiltrate deeper into the friend networks of suspected dissidents. For some expert analysis now on the story, let's check in with the Fact Zone's first responders. Jason, you have written extensively about the Facebook program. Why is it so effective?
Well, one of the key reasons is that the CIA has been so thorough in convincing the nation that constantly sharing information about everything that you're doing is somehow desirable instead of deeply unsettling.
You know, critics are saying that with the national debt being so high, is this really the time to be spending even more money on spy program?
Shout out to Quinty, Jeffrey in the building. I hope I said that correctly. Godfrey in the building. I want to make sure I stop real quick and give the shout outs to all of those who are viewing and tuning in. If you're in the chat and you're a part of the show, you will get in that shout out.
Well, actually, the Facebook program saves the CIA money.
That's right.
Like the Maps application where you list every place that you've been, whether it's at the state or a country or...
Oh, right, with the little pins, they show where you visited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes.
I like that.
That kind of information would have taken the CIA months of going through hotel receipts and plane tickets to figure it all out. The manpower that Facebook saves is huge.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the calendar feature even lets the CIA know where you're going to be in advance. So that's
Right, so now if they want to pick you up for questioning, all they have to do is see which events you RSVP'd yes to and then send their agents to be waiting for you.
That's how they got my brother.
Yeah,
right.
so effective. But guys, with all the focus on the Facebook program, is it taking away from some of the other CIA programs like the Twitter initiative?
Oh, yeah, the funding for that should be cut entirely.
Right, 400 billion tweets and not one useful bit of data was ever transmitted.
Oh, that's true. Now, is this trend of social network information gathering dangerous? I mean, just last week, the New York Times revealed that Al-Qaeda has designed Foursquare to identify popular locations for bombing.
Actually, Brooke, that's been discredited as any kind of real threat. The people that use that site are people that no one would mind seeing bombed anyway.
Yeah,
So
really, the only thing the CIA has to be concerned about is people losing interest in Facebook and moving on to a new social network site, like the Chinese site Wanbi.
I love
Are you guys
that.
on Wanbi?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's so much more fun than Facebook.
It is great.
I love that one.
I love that you can earn friend points the more state secrets that you post.
Mhm.
You know, I've got a lot of contacts in the State Department. You know, I think I could really rack them
You
up.
should post them up.
I
Sure.
should.
All right, first responders, thank you so much as always. You know, I'm, of course, a big fan of any social networking site. It allows me to interact with my fans without having to see, hear, or smell them. Well, it's taken months of preparation.
And that's why I love this channel, is because I get to I get to interact with all of you, and I don't have to see, smell, or hear any one of you. And I'm just joking. But seriously, all jokes aside, could this be real? Is this real? I mean, we've heard this before. This stream is so suppressed. It is. It is. I mean, this should bug 5353. This should show you that Scribe's in the building. This should show you that we're talking the truth here. I mean, let's go back to the beginning. Let's hear what was said.
This is the
Congress today reauthorized funding for Facebook, the massive online surveillance program run by...
Why would Congress fund Facebook, then turn around and then have a hearing on Facebook currency? So is the CIA creating its own currency in form of digital currency to start the new world order's digital currency? Could we really truly see it happening before our very eyes? Because I sat there during the hearing live. I was there live during the hearing. I watched the hearing live. And there was truly really no tough questions being asked. And of course, they implied maybe 2 or 3 times that the economy can be manipulated and destroyed. GGT, thank you for being in the building. Leonard, thank you for being in the building. Tan, thank you for being in the building. No one really asked a tough question. So could we be looking at the New World Order's way of putting this out there to you? So this isn't something that you would be really alarmed about because they desensitized you. Because if in fact Congress did fund Facebook and Facebook is a creation of the CIA used to target individuals, spy on individuals, gather information on individuals, then I'm getting some good candidates that Tony can back in my hometown. So. Wouldn't Congress be working against you? There's a reason why they don't want Anton Tucker to run for Congress. It's because they really and truly understand that that young man, and I know I'm talking about this individual in third person, but currently I'm not Anton Tucker. I am Tony X, the unknown. And could this be the New World Order's way of desensitizing you as they implement a global monetary system that is truly just fake in all regards of actually having a tool to barter with?
By the CIA. According to Department of Homeland Security reports, Facebook has replaced almost every other CIA information
Olu J81, thank you for being in the building. I appreciate you for stopping by. See, y'all don't know that sometimes I'll stop. I'll go in. I can't read all of the stuff that's in the chat, but I will definitely go in to shout you out if I see you. Okay, today's that day. We have that Wolfpack event happening tonight.
Gathering program since it was launched in 2004.
After years of secretly monitoring the public, we were astounded so many people would willingly publicize where they live.
This is Christopher Christopher Starsky, director of deputy director of the CIA.
Religious and political views, an alphabetized list of all their friends, personal email addresses, phone numbers, hundreds of photos of themselves, and even status updates about what they were doing moment to moment. It is truly a dream come true for the CIA.
Much of the credit belongs to CIA agent Mark Zuckerberg, who runs the day-to-day Facebook operation.
This is the reason why this man gets to take all of your information, break the law, give it away, sell it to individuals. They're breaking the law by doing so. You're supposed to have the right to privacy. But this is the reason why this man gets to do this and then not find himself behind bars. It's because he's working for a secret he's working for a shadow government in order to enslave the population of this country.
For the agency. The decorated agent, codenamed the Overlord, was recently awarded the prestigious Medal of Intelligence Commendation for his work.
Well, it looks like that's him right there. I don't know if that's a Photoshop picture of him. I don't know. But it doesn't appear to be, because there are things that are in place. Like if you look towards the gentleman at the podium, there are 2 page readers where you can't see from the outside, but on the inside they see the words that are coming up, and they're reading off of these prompt screens. And it appears that he is in fact in back of the prompt screen.
Work with the Facebook program, which he has called, quote, the single most powerful tool for population control ever created. Among the biggest successes of the Facebook program is Operation Farmville, which the CIA credits with pacifying as many as 85 million people after unemployment rates rose dramatically. Other features, such as the suggested friends window, have been...
This is during Barack Obama's administration, Barry Sorato's administration. I believe I said his last name correctly.
Instrumental in allowing government agents to infiltrate deeper into the friend networks of suspected dissidents. For some expert analysis now on the story, let's check in with the Fact Zone's first responders. Jason, you have written...
Okay, well, we don't need to get back into what the first responders said. We have to truly worry about what the fuck is going on with this nation right now. We are under attack and we need to do something about it before it's too late, because I'm telling you people, all of us here watching this show, all of us who consider ourselves conservative, who believe in God, who pray to Jesus, Rachel, thank you for being in the building. We're going to concentration camps first. They're going to kill me. Yeah, we don't even know if I'll be here tomorrow. We're going to be realistic. We're going to have a realistic, candid conversation right now. I could die tomorrow. I could be killed tomorrow. How are you out there going to combat what's happening right now? How? How are you going to protect your families? How are you going to prepare for what's happening? The president gave a speech, and I love you, Mr. Trump, President Trump. I love you, but your advisors they're destroying your chances of a re-election 2020. They are dividing your base, and I am prepared to pick up this whole entire MAGA movement, and I am prepared to put it on my shoulders, because I will not allow anyone to destroy the freedoms of the American people. No one. Sir, I am a big supporter of yours. But the things you addressed in this speech, you're going to have to fix. And you're going to have to say you're not going to do them, because you are truly going to fracture the love you have in your base.
Good morning. My fellow Americans, this morning, our nation is overcome with shock, horror, and sorrow. This weekend, more than 80 people were killed or wounded in two evil attacks. On Saturday morning in El Paso, Texas, a wicked man went to a Walmart store where families were shopping with their loved ones. He shot and murdered 20 people and injured 26 others, including precious little children. Then, in the early hours of Sunday morning, Dayton, Ohio, another twisted monster opened fire on a crowded downtown street. He murdered 9 people, including his own sister, and injured 27 others. The First Lady and I join all Americans in praying and grieving for the victims, their families, and the survivors. We will stand by their side forever. We will never forget. These barbaric slaughters are an assault upon our communities, an attack upon our nation, and a crime against all of humanity. We are outraged and sickened by this monstrous evil, the cruelty, the hatred, the malice, the bloodshed, and the terror. Our hearts are shattered for every family whose parents, children, husbands, and wives were ripped from their arms and their lives. America weeps for the fallen. We are a loving nation, and our children are entitled to grow up in a just, peaceful, and loving society. Together, we lock arms to shoulder the grief. We ask God in heaven to ease the anguish of those who suffer, and we vow to act with urgent resolve. I want to thank the many law enforcement personnel who responded to these atrocities with the extraordinary grace and courage of American heroes. I have spoken with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, as well as Mayor DeMargo of El Paso, Texas, and Mayor Nan Whaley of Dayton, Ohio, to express our profound sadness and unfailing support.
Hey, are you tired?
Come on, bro. Jumping in my shit, man. I'm gonna let him rock. Cause you know what? I like this company. I'm gonna let him rock.
The truth and pushing false narratives upon you? Well, take a look at this. Over the last 2 years, while the mainstream media has been pushing the whole Trump colluding with Russia narrative, the Epoch Times has been covering Spygate, the true story of collusion. And take a look at this. While the mainstream media has essentially given Hillary Clinton a pass, the Epoch Times has continued to report on and investigate her many scandals. And take a look at this. While the establishment media has been politicizing their coverage of the border crisis, the Epoch Times sent their reporters down to the border to actually go on ride-alongs with the sheriffs, speak with the border crossers, and bring the truth to all Americans. And take a look at this. While the mainstream media has been hostile to traditional values, we here at the Epoch Times have given tradition center stage and have given a platform for the wisdom, knowledge, and virtue that have been passed down in our culture.
So you can join them for $1.
Today, we also send the condolences of our nation to President Obrador of Mexico and all the people of Mexico for the loss of their citizens in the El Paso shooting. Terrible, terrible thing. I have also been in close contact with Attorney General Barr and FBI Director Wray. Federal authorities are on the ground, and I have directed them to provide any and all assistance required, whatever is needed. The shooter in El Paso posted a manifesto online consumed by racist hate. In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, and devours the soul. We have asked the FBI to identify all further resources they need to investigate and disrupt hate crimes and domestic terrorism, whatever they need. We must recognize.
Now, my thing is this, right, people? Who the fuck publishes a manifesto before they go and shoot shit up? Just trying to figure it out. Who does that? Who goes and produces a manifesto and then goes shoot shit up after they've done it?
Is that the internet has provided a dangerous avenue to radicalize disturbed minds and perform demented acts. We must shine light on the dark recesses of the internet and stop mass murders before.
The dark places on the internet is every time a liberal or a rhino opens their mouth to condemn you, call you a rapist, a racist. Whenever they open their mouths to say that Trump supporters are racists, that they are Ku Klux Klan members, the people who wear this hat in support of your policies are Ku Klux Klan members and racists. That's the deep, dark part of the internet.
Before they start. The internet likewise is used for human trafficking, illegal drug distribution, and so many other heinous crimes. The perils of the internet and social media cannot be ignored, and they will not be ignored. In the 2 decades since Columbine, our nation has watched with rising horror and dread as one mass shooting has followed another, over and over again, decade after decade. We cannot allow ourselves to feel powerless. We can and will stop this evil contagion. In that task, we must honor the sacred memory of those we have lost by acting as one people. Open wounds cannot heal if we are divided. We must seek real bipartisan solutions. We have to do that in a bipartisan manner that will truly make America safer and better for all. First, we must do a better job of identifying and acting on early warning signs. I am directing the Department of Justice to work in partisan partnership with local, state, and federal agencies, as well as social media companies, to develop tools that can detect.
How can we trust social media companies, sir, when they are censoring us, when they are shadow banning us, when they are removing our platforms because we question the things that they do? Sir, I don't think that you truly understand what you're doing to your base when you say these things that you're saying. Your base does not trust social media platforms whatsoever, and you are giving them a greater license to go in now, and you're further creating another sub-government with the other sub-governments that we currently have to go in and police the American people. And you're doing this without the consent of the American people and without push legislation to actually have to actually give the American people the ability to hold these social media platforms accountable, because no one is holding them accountable now. They're able to take down anything that they want and deem it hate speech. Sir, with all due respect, you are doing a great disservice to this movement. You are doing a great disservice to those who support you. And I am warning you right now, you will definitely be affected come your 2020 race, with you just saying right now that you're going to allow social media platforms to create the ability to find out who is to find out who themselves, or no, to find out who they believe could be homegrown domestic terrorists. See, because the man in El Paso was a registered Democrat, and social media platforms removed this information and then posted that he was a Republican and a conservative and a QAnon's supporter. I understand that you are a very busy man. I understand that you have a lot on your plate and you are not able to actually see everything, and you have people who advise you and who tell you things, but maybe you need to fire the people that currently gave you this information, and you need to fire the individuals that gave you the idea that this is going to work. This is not going to work for your base. Not at all, sir. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. This will not work for your base. And you've lost supporters today, and you've put people on the fence today, because now they're looking at you and they're wondering if in fact you are the person that they thought you were. Hillary Clinton is still free. The FBI agents that illegally investigated you are still free. James Comey just avoided prosecution, and he illegally leaked information which led to the illegal investigation of you and your family. He's still free. He is still free. And now with the social media platforms that have removed people like Laura Loomer, Alex Jones, and anyone else that dares to ask questions and bring up thought-provoking content, they've been silenced and removed. And you've allowed this to happen as well. And now you want us to believe that we can trust these people, and that somehow the same people, because I just showed on the show that Google is using their platform to make sure that you are not reelected, that Google interfered with the 2016 election. These are facts. Facebook interfered with the 2016 election. These are facts. That you're now going to trust these social media platforms to help police people in this government and in the state. People, if I was you, I would get off of Facebook. I would not post anything on Facebook. I urge you to get yourselves off of Facebook. I urge you to only post things on social media sites that engages individuals, but please limit yourself to what it is you specifically post and or say, because these people are coming for our freedoms. We will all have to march together in solidarity, because we will all be thrown inside of ovens and killed together, no matter what you believe politically.
Mass shooters before they strike. As an example, the monster in the Parkland High School in Florida had many red flags against him, and yet nobody took decisive action. Nobody did anything. Why not?
If there were more armed people, if there were armed guards at the school, if more resources were allocated to law enforcement officers, and that allowed, because in New York City right now, you can't go to a school without there being a metal detector in there, without there being cops in the school. There aren't mass shootings happening in New York City. They're happening in these small areas or small cities and or states where these things can actually happen, because individuals know that there are no law enforcement officials there protecting the public. If there would have been more people in and around that school with firearms, the principals, if there would have been trained armed guards, security officials at every school, we wouldn't have school shootings, because the first thing someone with an idea of doing something like that would think is, I'm not going to get far, because the moment I go to the door with this firearm, officials can electronically, I'm sorry, can you close that window, please? I want to just snatch that person off that fucking bike and whoop their ass for that fucking loud. I'm so upset that they just did that just now. The first thing they would say is, I can't go to the school and do something, because the moment the cameras see me in the parking lot with a rifle or a handgun, someone's going to be ready to take my life. Someone's going to take my life. This is how you stop shootings. This is how you stop mass shootings. There is no reason why someone should be walking on a mall parking lot with a loaded firearm. Because if you're going in the mall, if there's a gun store in the mall, if you're going in the mall with your firearm should be on your back. It shouldn't be in your hands, and it shouldn't be loaded. If you're going to go have the weapon service, if there is a firearm store inside the location. But there definitely should be armed police officers there. They shouldn't have to be called to the scene. That's just ridiculous. They should be there, present, able to assist and able to act when necessary. What is the sense of having our best and bravest Americans put on uniforms to serve the people if we don't actually give them the capability of doing so?
Second, we must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace.
Sir, you don't play video games. I do. And whenever you go buy a video game that's R-rated, you have to have identification to do so. The problem is the parents. The parents are allowing their children to be raised on violent video games, violent content on television, over-sexualized content on television. As I said in yesterday's show, the media is greatly responsible for it, because all they talk about is hating you. The reason why the reason why there's a great deal of Americans that love socialism and they've never been to a socialist country, the reason why there are a large amount of Americans that hate your guts and they don't even know you, is because of the media outlets, the fake news media outlets that are just conditioning these people to hate you, to hate the American way of life. What's the American way of life? Truth, justice for everybody. Truth and justice. What does justice mean? It means to be righteous. It means to be honest. It means to be held accountable. You have elected officials. I may not never make it to Congress. They may try to do everything they can to stop me from doing it. But God willing, I do make it to Congress. One of the first bills that I actually produce will be a bill that will stop members in Congress from openly attacking other members of Congress and the President of the United States of America. This type of content should be done in the chambers of Congress, it should be done so in a manner with respect. We should never censor the American people, but the American people should have the right to censor those elected officials, because everyone gravitates towards the sensationalized comments made by these individuals, but no one gravitates towards the retractions that's made after these people make these insane comments. Maxine Waters, I want you to push back on them. Say you're not welcome here. Push back on them. Get in their face. There should have been a hearing as soon as she said that. And the hearing should have been about removing her from her post. She is inciting violence. We're going to hold these people accountable. Shout out to GGT in the building. Mark Miller, thank you for being in the building. I appreciate you. Sage, thank you for being in the building.
It is too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence.
Then what do we do about the news media? See, because my proposal is they have to actually produce the truth. And if it's an opinion, then they have to say before they be... Donna Lemonade cannot come out and call Donald Trump a racist without first saying, in my opinion, he is. Because if he says this is a fact, the president is a racist, he should be held accountable for it, and he should be sued for it as well. He should be sued by every Trump supporter and every MAGA supporter in this country when he calls the MAGA movement full of racists and white supremacists, because as a leader in this movement, shit, as the baddest man walking, aside from this man behind me, and this man behind me is conflicted right now, and we'll get to it, and I'm sure that he'll change his ways, and we'll give him time to change his ways and perception. But as of right now, I'm the baddest motherfucker walking in this movement, talking in this movement. I hold no punches whatsoever, and I keep it 1,000 with you every chance that I get. I am not a white supremacist. I am not a racist. And I love this country. I am a nationalist. I should have the right to sue Don Lemon, because what he does is he creates the culture of hate. He creates a divide in this nation. He's the reason why people are being attacked for wearing this hat, sir. Him and many other of his demon cult friends, in my opinion, in CNN. When I'm in Congress, I'm going to make sure that these people they will be obligated legally to tell you that this is their opinion. It's not fact-based, because they have nothing factual proving it. This will stop the disinformation. This will put a lid on the disinformation. This will take the hate that is introduced into our society from television, and it will put it to a minimum, because now people will have to be responsible for what they are saying, and they won't be able to hide behind billion-dollar news networks.
We must stop or substantially reduce this, and it has to begin immediately. Cultural change is hard, but each of us can choose to build a culture that celebrates the inherent worth and dignity of every human life. That's what we have to do.
Then we need to make it mandatory that God is brought back into the school system. We need to make it mandatory that the Pledge of Allegiance is said every day in every school in this country. Because the one thing they're not doing in China is going against their national anthem when it's time for them to actually put it in the schools. It's there. No one's running from it. No one can say we don't want it here, because in China, they're not having that shit. I pledge allegiance to the flag of these United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This should be said every single morning in every school in this country. There should be true education in this nation, and the children should be shown what it's like to live in true impoverished and poor countries.
Third, we must reform our mental health laws to better identify mentally disturbed individuals.
We spend more money helping countries overseas, helping countries all around the world with aid than we do on our own mental health in this nation. And currently, the mentally ill are running this nation. Currently, the mentally ill are in Congress and in Senate, sitting, saying the most idiotic things. No one is blaming these individuals for what's going on in this nation, but we seem to be blaming everyone but the people responsible for what's wrong in this country.
Who may commit acts of violence, and make sure those people not only get treatment, but when necessary, involved.
Len, thank you for joining the chat. I appreciate you for joining in. Thank you very much for being here.
Voluntary confinement. Mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger, not the gun. Fourth, we must make sure that those judged to pose a grave risk to public safety do not have access to firearms, and that if they do, those firearms can be taken through rapid due process. That is why I have called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders. Today, I'm also directing the Department of Justice to propose legislation ensuring that those who commit hate crimes and mass murders face the death penalty, and that this capital punishment be delivered quickly, decisively, and without years of needless delay. These are just a few of the areas of cooperation that we can pursue. I am open and ready to listen and discuss all ideas that will actually work and make a very big difference. Republicans and Democrats have proven that we can join together in a bipartisan fashion to address this plague. Last year, we enacted the Stop School Violence and Fix NICS Acts into law, providing grants to improve school safety and strengthening critical background checks for firearm purchases. At my direction, the Department of Justice banned bump stocks. Last year, we prosecuted a record number of firearms offenses. But there is so much more that we have to do.
Sir, bump stocks do not kill people. People kill people. What are we going to do with 250 people who committed suicide today? Why isn't it an outrage for the 47 people who were shot yesterday in Chicago and the 3 people who died, and the fact that the Chicago emergency room had to be shut down and closed because of all of the trauma patients that they received? those violent acts, happened with criminals with illegal firearms. No one went for a background check. No one. Nobody went for a background check. They got the guns illegally. And it just seems as if Chicago will never have a shortage of firearms so black people can kill black people. Today, 500 doctors. 500 doctors. Tanner, don't worry about it, Tanner. Like I said, if I have to put this whole movement on my shoulders, I'm doing it. 500 people died today from medical malpractice issues. Are we going to rid the nation of the doctors? Trying to think. I believe it's over. Let me see. Prescription drugs kill over 100,000 people each year. Each year, sir. How dangerous is FDA approved medicine? CDC says overdose deaths involving prescription opioids were 5 times higher in 2016 and in 1999. And sales of prescription drugs have quadrupled out of 783,936 annual deaths from conventional medicine mistakes. Approximately 106,000 of those are the results of prescription drug use. So are we going to ban pharmaceutical drugs in this country? Every year, 783,936 people are dying from prescription medication. Thank you, Armando. I appreciate that donation. Keep up the good work, brother. I will continue to support you and do my part any way I can. Salute. Armando just earned himself a fucking wrench. If there's any way to earn a wrench, that's how you earn a fucking wrench. Shannon said give you a wrench. Armando, you have a wrench. Come in here anytime and kick somebody out my chat. I appreciate that shit. Do we ban pharmaceutical medications? Do we? Do we ban 783,936 people die every year from pharmaceutical medications. Do we ban pharmaceutical medication?
Now is the time to set destructive partisanship aside, so destructive, and find the courage to answer hatred with unity, devotion, and love. Our future is in our control. America will rise to the challenge. We will always have, and we always will, win. The choice is ours, and ours alone. It is not up to mentally ill monsters. It is up to us. If we are able to pass great legislation after all of these years, we will ensure that those who were attacked will not have died in vain. May God bless the memory of those who perished in Toledo. May God protect them. May God protect all of those from Texas to Ohio. May God.
I truly believe that he cares a great deal, and I want to give this man the benefit of the doubt because I love him so much. I love them. I love this man so much, and he is only one man. And I do understand that there are people who prepare his speeches for him, and I do believe that he has advisors. And I do believe that this is something that he can actually turn around and actually not do. But if in the fact that these red flag laws happen, it would be disastrous for the president. And it would be, Trump sounded pained. He did. He sounded like it bothered him, like he almost wanted to cry. I love this man. I feel so bad for him. You can't make everyone happy, but sir, you cannot allow the Justice Department. Listen, the Justice Department allowed an illegal investigation into you and your family. They are spying illegally on Americans. I am being spied on right now. The Justice Department did not clean its own house, sir. They did not remove the culprits from out of its midst that illegally investigated you, sir, and tried to have you arrested and removed from power. In effect, destroying this beautiful movement that this country has started and supporting you. We can't allow them to do anything or partner with anybody yet until they remove the scum that are in power that set you up in the first place. Secondly, we cannot allow the social media giants to partner up with the Department of Justice to pick and choose who they deem are a threat, because then they win. This is something serious that you're going to have to deal with, and you're going to have to back away from, because if you do this, it will fracture this movement and it will destroy your chances of re-election 2020. You will lose, and the Democrats will put in a puppet, and then it's just really over. Sir, we have your back, but you can't make it impossible to support you. You campaigned on protecting the Second Amendment and the First Amendment, and we need you to keep your promise. You have to hold the social media giants accountable for their actions, and you have to put an end to censorship. I don't want to be someone that wants to jump on your back when things are rough. I want to be the guy that prays for you, that offers his support and his counsel. And I would suggest to you this before I get out of here, sir. You hold rallies often with tens of thousands of people in attendance. How about you start talking to the people about solutions before you offer what people around you feel they want to happen? Maybe you should engage the actual people that got you elected in the first place. I love you, sir, and I pray for you and your family. We are all allowed to make mistakes. How we fix them and how we rise from these mistakes should be how we're judged. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay American, and remember, fuck the other side. We don't care.